Hello, everybody. Oh, this is like awkward. Like you're like,
My like
yeah,
pointing
yeah, get there, get it.
wait, no,
No,
is
you're
it
going
the
the
other
wrong
way?
way. Yeah. Okay, this is yeah. We're starting the stream off correct. Everything's weird.
Yes.
Hey, it's the Fantasy Books and Games comic book preview stream. I'm Aaron. This is Susie,
Hey,
and maybe just maybe our friend Sam might be swinging by a little bit later to talk about.
two guests.
I know it's outrageous, like, but it's pretty cool because it takes a lot of the burden off of me to have to read all this stuff and talk about it.
Yes.
I like making you do all the work.
Your hair looks crazy
I
in the
know. I had it at
thumbnail.
I had it in a bandana all day, so it's like equivalent of like hat hair, where it's like just wild.
Bonkers.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about some new comics that come out tomorrow. New comics every Wednesday,
Of course.
and you know how I like to start these streams.
How do you like to
I
start
like
these
to start
streams?
these streams by showing off the new old comics, the facsimile reprints,
Ah.
of course. And I'm still amazed. It's like every week there's been one, like
Oh
from
yeah,
at least one
guaranteed.
from like a publisher. And this week it is one that I've been talking about a lot. It is Fantastic Four. Marvel has been reprinting the first 12 issues of Fantastic Four, and this is issue 10. So they got two more, and this is a pretty neat issue. I think it's just worth pointing out. It's like not a. I won't pretend this is a particularly good issue of Fantastic Four,
Sure.
but it's kind of important in that it sets a lot of precedent for the way Fantastic Four stories go in the future, and also just kind of the foundation of the Marvel universe. Right off the bat, you can see from the cover here, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are on the cover, like commenting on it. And this, I don't know if this is the exact issue. I think it might be, though. It's definitely one of the earliest examples of Stan and Jack literally putting themselves into the comic. Like they go to the offices of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and it's really they're really savvy with the way they do it by not showing their faces.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
so that when you see a guy with hair and no mustache who's supposed to be Stan Lee, like you don't he's not going to look, because he looked different in the 60s
Sure, then his
than his
iconic
iconic 70s era. Yeah, he didn't have a mustache, he was balding.
wild.
Yeah, he wasn't like he had, yeah, I don't know,
He didn't
it was a
have the
whole thing. He didn't
character
have the
persona yet.
correct, yeah, he didn't have his whole image with the
Yes. The
glasses and the
brand.
mustache and the toupee, the brand, exactly.
Yes. It was a
But
toupee this whole time.
it was, yeah,
What?
he was like bald in the 60s, like just like
What?
old man bald,
The more I
middle.
learn.
I know, yeah. But anyway, so this issue is fun because it Stan and Jack put themselves into the story, and it also like doesn't really make any sense why they're in the story. Like it literally stops. Like they're just like the story starts, and then there's a caption of like that's as far as we got before something unexpected happened, and then Doctor Doom shows up in their office to talk to them, and it's like I sort of get the impression it's like, so in the last issue that Doctor Doom was in, he just gets stranded out in space. Like that's the end of Doctor Doom. Like he's just like
Yes.
floating aimlessly in space, presumably dead.
Sure.
And then they didn't really have a real way to like explain how he gets back. So he
Yeah.
literally just barges into Stan and Jack's office and explains how he got back. But it's just really it's really weird and kind of kitschy. Like he just
Yes.
it doesn't make any sense. But this is where he establishes that he learns it's not magic.
Look at those guys.
These are aliens.
They're so silly.
They're silly looking, and he learns their ability to switch bodies with people. And this is the issue
Oh.
where he switches bodies with Reed Richards, and you have all these beautiful panels of Jack Kirby drawing evil Reed Richards. Like I really like the way he's able to draw him, where he looks like
With
Reed
more
Richards,
malice.
just evil. You know, like that's
Yes.
how Kirby draws bad guys.
As I was telling Aaron a little bit before the stream, though, like there has always been like a hint of evil in.
I mean, I don't.
Reed Richards.
So I don't go in for that like after the fact. Like I don't like this about Professor X either, where it's like, no, they're good guys. Okay, they're not a little bad. I just, but you know, that's a
Because
different
the last
conversation.
facsimile that we talked about, he like shrunk an
He did.
entire
He just
population
left
of
them.
people and then just left them
And it's
somewhere.
like, you'll be fine. The universe doesn't care that you're tiny.
Yeah.
Well, this issue, I guess, just to spoil it, Dr. Doom switches bodies with Reed Richards and uses his laboratory to
Oh, look at him
create.
with the green.
Yeah, like yeah, he's got the green jacket and look at that evil face. But I like this. This is a cute panel with all these tiny little animals, and because Doctor Doom invented a shrink ray, and
Zoo
so
animals
so
missing.
he like kidnaps a bunch of zoo animals and then shrinks them down. And
Wow.
his plan, he like tricks them into thinking it's for their own good, but his plan is to like shrink them down until they shrink down into nothingness, just like in the movie The Incredible Shrinking Man, or
Also,
whatever
just
it's
like
called.
what Reed Richards did in that other comic.
Yeah, exactly. Like he uses the shrink ray that he already invented,
Yeah.
and then of course it goes awry, and through his own silly actions, I'm just gonna spoil the end because it's funny. Through his own, they switch back. They're able to
Okay.
Reed Richards tricks him into switching his body back, and then Doom accidentally shoots himself with the shrink ray and shrinks into nothingness. So like they left Doctor Doom floating in space, like gone forever,
Yes.
and then he comes back in the most ridiculous way, only to get shrunken down into nothingness, presumably to not
Sure.
exist. I'm sure we'll never see Doctor Doom ever again.
Ever again.
Ever again. I mean, he's a cool character and all, but they wiped him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I love me some '60s Silver Age
Oh
comics. You
yeah.
all know that. And
That's
those,
why so many people were upset about the She-Hulk ending where she like
oh yeah,
breaks into the Marvel offices and
I
everything.
mean
They're
that's
like
like
Marvel would never do this. And it's like
no, these people. That's like that precedent was set in the '60s, like at
yes.
the very foundation, the beginning of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
They set up, and that's actually what I was getting at was like it was there from the beginning. This idea that there was a meta layer, and that's
Yes.
what established that in the Marvel universe there is a Marvel Comics that publishes comic books about the characters, but
Yeah.
they're supposed to be like the real exploits. So there's kind of like
Wild.
this like meta nature to the Marvel comics that we're reading are the real
Like,
adaptations of
yeah.
the real adventures. There's layers to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, when She-Hulk did that goes back to the original John Byrne series. It
Yes.
was meta, breaking the fourth wall all the way.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about something a little more recent. Although not exactly new, this is just a new collection, a new printing of 8 Billion Genies, which is a pretty cool book by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. They are currently doing the Lucky Devils series that I really like.
Yes. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
did 8 Billion Genies a few years ago. I don't remember. Have you read this one, Susie?
I haven't, but I've heard so many good things.
It's
That's absolutely on my list.
it's
So
really really good.
I'm so glad we got a
If you
trade for it
haven't,
now.
yeah, if you missed it the first time it came out, if you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend it. It really is like it's a very weird high concept where all of a sudden one day everybody on earth gets a genie that will grant them one wish,
It's
and
wild.
everything immediately, like there's a running total of the human population throughout the story because like everything just goes insane like the first 8 hours, uh, it's
Oh
like
my god.
population is just going down because people are there's a lot of stupid people out there, and so they're
Absolutely.
using their wishes for ridiculous things, and like this character uses his wish to bring his mom back to life. There's all kinds of. It's like a pretty heartfelt story too, but also it's pretty wild. The series spans a long time. Like it spans centuries.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
because
shoot.
there's it goes in some weird places. Like it kind of turns into like a post-apocalyptic story where like you have all these weird characters. They use their wishes to be like monsters or
Like
superheroes
villains
or
and stuff like that.
yeah, and there's people that have specifically like tried to save their wishes because they don't want to, they want to wait for the right moment to use it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's.
Oops.
Oops, I turned off the mic, not the camera. Okay, but yeah, it's a really, really, really good book. I highly recommend it. So I'm very glad there's a new printing of it because I really liked it. You should definitely check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, what's something that you got here?
Ooh, so I didn't get a chance to read it too much, but there is
Mm-hmm.
a new #1 coming out tomorrow called Spider-Man Torn.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm not quite sure. I didn't get a chance to see like what like the gimmick is for
Mm-hmm.
this one, like what
So it's
it
written by
means.
J. Michael Straczynski. It looks like. Let's put it down on the camera here. And Straczynski wrote I guess the kind of classic Spider-Man run in the early 2000s. that he created the character Morlun, and he set the whole precedent of the spider totem, and
Oh.
that was used famously very well in the recent Madam Web movie.
Huh.
So that's you know, that was, I was, by the way, I was being sarcastic. But
Is this the same person that did some of like the pairings? You know, where they like the
yes,
weird.
that's J. Michael Straczynski. He did
Okay.
like Captain America and Volstagg and
Yes.
Fin Fang Foom and Nick Fury. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
that's J. Michael Straczynski.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I haven't read this yet, but it is a new Spider-Man comic by the Straz. So I'm sure there's people interested in that.
I will say my favorite little moment. I didn't get a chance, obviously, to read too much of it, but there is this initial fight with the Sandman, and Spider-Man decides he wants to use this new like invention that he built just to use against Sandman, which it creates like a frequency that destabilizes
Oh,
the
okay.
structure of the sand, and so then he melts. And then something that I find it funny is that then he's like, oh, so let me just put him into like bottles of like
Water bottles.
sand. But like
Yeah.
I'm picturing like him being there for hours,
Right.
just scooping up sand.
Right. He'll like
into
like with a funnel and
bottle. Like
yeah.
how long that would take.
Was
Like there's
was Kane Marco like unconscious the whole time? He's just like scooping him up and like putting him
right,
into
yeah.
bottles.
And are people just like watching
Right.
this go down?
Yeah, that's really fun because it's a hard cut. It just is like
yeah.
starts melting and then hard cut. And now he's in a bunch of like plastic
Little
bottles,
plastic water
as you can
bottles.
see there. I mean, that is funny. In his first appearance, I believe Spider-Man defeated Sandman with a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Like he just vacuumed him up, and he was trapped in the bag. Even though like his powers allow him to like make rock hard, and he's like strong, but
sure.
he just couldn't bust out of that vacuum cleaner
It's
bag.
a pretty strong vacuum.
It was, it was the '60s. Everything
Yeah.
was built tougher back then.
exactly.
Built to last.
Built to last.
Yeah.
Unlike
But
these newer models.
right. But anyway, so yeah, this looks pretty interesting. This is like good art too.
Yeah.
Pierre Perez, I think I saw. Yeah.
yes.
Or Perry Perez, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, this is good. I enjoyed a lot of Straz's original Spider-Man run. I was buying it off the rack at the time when it came out. I was collecting Spider-Man at the time. I didn't totally love all of the Spider Totem stuff, and so
Sure.
I never did finish the run. But he writes a good Peter Parker. I think he does good at making him jokey without making him too, I don't know, just like
smarmy,
silly, funny. Like I don't know.
It's not like the Marvel quips.
Not them, too Marvel quippy. Like I'm gonna show my generational age here, but the young kids and their Spider-Man, like he's too like dumb and goofy all the time.
Yes.
And I know you're saying that that's what Spider-Man is. Like, yeah, but there's a line to it. Like
sure.
I don't know.
It's kind of like when we thought that the Joker sounded off in that one issue because like he's
very similar in the
quippy.
Batman Deadpool. It's like he talked like, what did you say? He talked like a streamer or something, like a live streamer. Yeah, I agree.
Like internet.
Yeah, it's a little weird like that. But yeah, okay.
I like it, and I'm interested in reading more. I never really read Spider-Man, so like it was something that was caught my eye. It's a new number one,
That's right. Well, what else you got here?
Oh, so some more ones. I got this one is a new.
Oh, Mary Sue. I'm glad you picked that up because I almost looked at it and then I didn't because my stack was too big. Did you get a chance to look through this one?
I just like browsed through super quick, but basically it follows this one girl who writes like fan fiction based on her favorite TV show.
Hence the title Mary Sue.
Hence the title Mary Sue.
Now, do you know? I'm going to just completely interrupt you. Do you know the origin of the term Mary Sue?
Was it based off of a female character that had no flaws and was super?
No, it's based.
Or is it based on a writer?
It's based on a fan fiction writer.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. This goes back to Star Trek, the original Star Trek. She wrote
So of course you knew.
She wrote a fan. Yeah, of course. She wrote a fan fiction and like put herself in the story and like.
And she was so cool.
She was so cool, and everyone was friends with her, and Kirk fell in love with her, and all. I've never actually read it, so I don't know what's in it. But her name was Mary Sue, and that's the origin of the term Mary Sue.
Can you imagine having like a whole trope named after you?
That's your legacy. Yeah. But anyway, so this comic named Mary Sue.
Yes. And so it centers around a girl who writes fan fiction based on her favorite show, Riverview.
Yeah.
And then this popular girl at school figures out that she's the one that's writing this fan fiction, and so she decides to read it to like the entire class
And
and
embarrass
basically like
her.
embarrass her and out her, and it causes just all this drama. But then I could spoil the last page because it's going to be the whole point of like the
This
series going forward.
is this that thing that I always complain about,
Oh,
where first issues,
it's just like a
the
preview.
selling point is the final page twist,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, I don't want to spoil the issue, but also this is the thing you need to know to want to read it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Are we gonna do? We're gonna do
We're
that
about
for
to do
Mary
it.
Sue.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we can do that. So this is that the popular kid that
Yes.
she
Oh wait,
spoils it? Oh wait, you don't
I
know.
think so.
Okay. You're writing a Mary Sue. They make fun
Yeah.
of her. Okay. Um.
Plot twist.
What
Her
the
character from her fan fiction
comes
comes
to
to
life?
life
Okay. Yeah.
and becomes her friend.
Okay. Well, good for her.
I kind of like this. It gives me like a bit of like a Babs Tarr style.
Is she like a vampire?
She's like the Ramona, like Harry Potter
Okay.
main
I
character.
don't know what that means.
Oh, I'll have to read you this one fan fiction at some point, but it was like she was a super cool kid at Harry Potter and she's a vampire.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that is like a reference to a real Mary
Yes,
Sue type
a
of fan
famous
fiction.
like copy pasta.
Okay. I've read a few. I have actually read a few and laughed out loud at bad fan fictions.
Yes.
I'm not like I've definitely partaken in that type of entertainment. I just didn't recognize that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
As
that's
a writer, I'm sure you'll love it. So I
I
have to show
do.
it to you after this.
I do enjoy being really mean to other writers. Yeah, it's like
It's
my
what we
passion.
do.
It's all I got.
Yeah.
It's all I got. So yeah, this does look interesting. Yeah, like what was the fake show? Riverside,
Riverview. So I'm wondering
Riverview.
if
It
it's
made
like
me
a
think
Riverdale.
it made me think of Riverdale. So like it's an
Yes.
Archie kind of a thing.
Yeah. And that makes
Um,
sense why her character then is like edgy vampire, cool
Yeah.
girl everyone likes.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of edgy vampire cool girls that
Oh.
everybody likes, there is a crossover coming out tomorrow.
Perfect segue.
Yeah, it is. It's the crossover you didn't know you needed. It is Harley Quinn and Elvira.
Wild.
And this was something that I saw this on the shelf and I was like, sure, of course they're doing Harley Quinn times Elvira. But then I looked a little further and I saw that it was written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner, who are a husband and wife comic book team. And I love Amanda Conner's art. She's done a lot of great stuff.
This looks great.
It's fantastic. She's done like Birds of Prey before, so
Sure.
they're familiar with Harley Quinn. And like, because I kind of opened it up at first, and I didn't realize that it was Palmiotti and Conner. And I just
Yeah.
looked at it, and I was kind of expecting like a generic. There's like a lot. Like, I've complained before. Sometimes licensed books just like have like cheesy generic crossovers that
Yes.
feel cynical and shallow, I guess is the way I would
get
put
what you're
it.
saying.
And so I opened this first page and I was looking at it and I read the first page and Harley Quinn's asleep on her bed in her underwear. And I didn't realize what was happening at first, but she has a beaver with her, which I guess that might be from continuity. I haven't actually read a lot of Harley Quinn comics. The last Harley Quinn comic I read was the Fartacular, which
Peak fiction.
I have to admit was fantastic. It was fartastic.
That like the art was
It
so
was
good in that
beautiful.
book.
Yeah, it was really good. It did not deserve to be as good as it was, but it was good.
Yes.
And so I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, so like she can't get her pants on because her butt is too big. So she goes to answer the door and the delivery guy says, "Nice beaver." And I was like, whoa, like, because she's holding a beaver,
Yes.
and I was just like, oh, I didn't expect like that kind of blue humor in,
Sure.
like, what I thought was going to be a simple crossover.
Yes.
And yeah, it's then I realized it was by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner, and it looks really good. So yeah, and Elvira's in it, and there's different artists in it. Amanda Conner draws some of it, like she draws the Harley Quinn
She
stuff.
did like a partial page
yeah,
here.
yeah, like you can see she does Harley Quinn on the toilet. Beautiful.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, so actually, this is a pretty good looking book, and so you know what? I think they're going to get me to buy another Harley Quinn book.
They got
I
you.
I thought the fart comic was going to be the only one I buy, but you know I like Elvira.
Yeah.
Everybody likes Elvira, so yeah, this coming out tomorrow. Check it out. It looks
Yes.
pretty good.
Well, really quick, I want to do my cool segue.
Okay, what's your cool segue?
So, speaking of cool married couples that work on
Mm.
comics, I have to talk about the last Rick and Morty spinoff issue.
Oh, that's
It
right.
wouldn't be me on a stream if it wasn't talking about
That's
Rick and Morty, I guess.
a little bit true.
That's a
Yeah,
little,
it's
yeah.
that's you're just here to shield for yourself.
Whoa.
Aren't we all though?
It's true. So this is the last of the spin-offs for
Mhm.
that mini-series Rick and Morty versus the Universe. And so this one follows Morty.
And to be
And
clear, you did not draw this.
I did
issue.
not draw
Okay.
this, but I want to hype up the people who did work on this.
Okay.
Because one, I mean, I love Alex Fire and Daniel Kittlesmith as writers, but two, Fred Streising is one of my favorite Rick and Morty like comic artists.
Mm-hmm.
I just love how he's able to play with that style, and his wife is the one that colored it.
Oh, all
So I
right.
love comic artists like couples. They're my
Yeah.
favorite.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
favorite genre.
this is good looking. It doesn't like he's got. You can definitely see he's got a style that he brings to it, and he's not just doing the
Yeah,
like
copying.
the house style.
Yes.
But yeah, this still looks pretty good.
And then Meg is always phenomenal when it comes to colors.
The colors
so,
are really nice. They definitely make it pop for sure.
Yes.
That's always a lot of. I think that is a lot of artists' secret weapon is just having a really good colorist.
Yes. A colorist really can like make or break the whole issue.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I just want to hype them up because I love both of them. They're both super cool.
Rick and Morty. Is this the this is part of the Rick and Morty versus the Universe series? Did you say this is the last one?
Yeah, last with like the spin-offs.
Oh,
and then I think
like the
there's
one.
going to be one more issue 4.
Okay.
But something I do have to hype about this one is that I think it's going to be Fred's last Rick and Morty book.
Gotcha.
Because it seems like they're no longer continuing the IP.
Yeah.
And so
did we talk about that last time? I think we did.
We possibly did. Yeah. And just they're
so yeah, these are like an end of a Rick and Morty comic era.
I know they've been doing it for like 12 years, so it's wild to see it go.
Rick and Morty's been around for that long.
It
still feels like
high school.
Oh my god! Like what, 3 years ago, right?
Just had my 10 year.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. More Rick and Morty. Yay.
More Rick and Morty. I had to take advantage of the segue.
Of course, of course. I think I got maybe like one other thing to talk about with you if you want to talk about this. I don't know if you even know what this is.
Actually not too familiar with it. Wasn't there one that was called like Black Book?
Blue Book.
Blue Book.
Yes.
Okay.
This is called Red Book.
Whoa.
And so there's a little bit of like fun happening with the name.
Yeah.
Blue Book the name Blue Book is an allusion to the original. It was called the Blue Book. That was real life alien story,
yes.
Alien encounter stories.
Yeah.
And so this is called the Red Book because it is depicting stories that happen in Russia and Soviet era
that's
Russia.
Actually really cool.
Yeah, and so this one opens with the Tunguska event where this wasn't even that long ago. It was 1908. There's like a weird thing that just happened. There was some kind of explosion or just something that just stripped an entire forest. Like this did happen. Like this is documented. This isn't like somebody says they met an alien. This is just like this whole forest was decimated and we don't know why. And it looks like it was some kind of maybe a bomb, but it was in 1908, so it was like way before any type of nuclear fusion.
Sure.
And nobody, like the Russian government hasn't said anything. This was even before the USSR existed.
Yeah,
this was
like
Russia,
multiple Russian governments have
exactly. So this is just like an old kind of an urban legend. So this issue just compiles. I haven't had a chance to read through the whole thing, but I flipped through it, and this issue compiles just a lot of the information about that event.
Wild.
So I really enjoyed this comic. It's art is by Michael Avon Oeming, and he's a really great artist. And yeah, it's really neat. I like this type of like that type of X-Files, real paranormal stuff. You know, I was talking
mysteries.
Yeah, that type of a thing. It's not that I believe in aliens, but I'm fascinated by
the idea,
or just the more like the people that have these incidents, and it's like
Sure.
what's going on with that, what happened with it, or just the unexplained, like you said.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy that they're doing a third one. They did two previous series of Blue Book. There was like Blue Book and then Blue Book 1945 or something like that,
Interesting.
and then there's Red Book. So this is coming out tomorrow, brand new series. Definitely check it out. I really recommend it.
Very cool.
Did you have one other thing you wanted to
Super
briefly
quick.
show off?
I didn't even get a chance to read the description of this guy, but I just recognized the artist.
Uh-huh.
This is like a well-known like Instagram like artist or
Okay,
whatever,
yeah.
go by Trungles. And I just know like I recognize them immediately because of the way that they draw hair, and I just like I'm weirdly drawn to it.
You know what? I get that. Let's put that on the camera because that
Yeah.
is like a very specific, like
Iking style.
style of drawing hair, like doing all the lines like that. Especially, I don't want to say like in this day and age, but like
Yes.
so much of drawing hair is just done by the colorist. You know, like
Yes, I
like
could
a
see
lot
that,
of
yeah.
hairstyle, and you know, you would even in old comics, like I can pull out that Fantastic Four. There's
Yeah.
like a specific method for implying hair, but you're not going to sit there and draw
Yeah.
every single strand.
Yes.
Whereas like this kind of like, again, it's not every single strand, but it definitely adds a lot of like line to it. So yeah, I
Yes.
get what you're saying. That's interesting. I like the way it looks.
Yeah, and they put just like a lot of focus into it. So it
Mhm.
looked like a super cute book, and I just wanted to hype up because I like the artist. I
Yeah.
followed them for a while. I didn't realize that they are into comics now. So
Oh, cool. Oops, let's get that centered on camera. The Bear Prince, that's what this is called. Oh no, Angelica and the Bear Prince.
yes.
Yeah, that looks really neat. That's a good one.
So yeah, I was just excited about that.
Very cool. All right.
And on that note, I should
Yeah,
probably swap.
you swap out. You go grab Sam. I'm going to talk about a few things coming out tomorrow that are in my regular, you know, whatever's.
Yeah, well, thank you guys.
Turn your mic off so that we don't hear you cuss out Sam when you go get him.
Whoa, now.
Yeah, you can just leave it here with me, and then I don't need your hairs. Oh my gosh, Susie hair everywhere. All right, everybody. So she's gonna go grab Sam. There's a few things coming out tomorrow that I want to briefly make mention of. Conan the Barbarian, the 25th issue. It's kind of crazy that they've done 25 issues of this new Conan series. This is so it's like an anniversary issue. It's oversized, and I'm mostly highlighting it just because there's some beautiful art inside of it. And generally speaking, the Conan books have been really good looking. I've kind of not talked about a few recent issues that I thought were not that great looking, which is why I didn't talk about them. But this one looks great. I really like this painted style. Yeah, come on in, Sam. You got you can turn your. I got your mic on for you. But yeah, so this is like I like that this is a King Conan story too. It's old Conan, got the beard. Yeah, so very cool. I'm always excited about good Conan comics. Say hello to everybody, Sam.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
They said it's great.
So
I
don't know what I was expecting.
Did
but...
you? Okay, you did bring in your
Yeah,
books. Cool.
I did. Yeah.
One other thing I'm just going to briefly mention that's always in my regular poll, but I don't want to talk too much about it because I always talk about it. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. I just opened up to a page. I just love me some classic Snake Eyes. That is just cool. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I enjoy G.I. Joe. Okay. I have like a huge stack of stuff to talk about here. I don't know how much of it I actually want to talk about, though.
Sure.
And it looks like a lot of it is stuff that you have.
Yeah, we got some overlap.
Awesome.
I read.
So one thing really quick that I'm just going to briefly mention, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Journeys. I don't remember if we talked about, were you on the stream when I talked about the last issue that came out, #1?
I don't remember.
So I just want to, I want to point this one out to people just because there's a lot of Ninja Turtles comics out there. There's the current new series. There's the Last Ronin series. There's the old IDW continuity, which I think they're still doing some stuff with, there's like that Mutant Nation comic, and there's like a Casey Jones comic. And then you'll see this one, the TMNT Journeys. This is a reprint of Volume 4 of the original Ninja Turtles run by Peter Laird. This is after Kevin Eastman cashed out. And so this book is written and drawn by Peter Laird with the help of a cartoonist named Jim Lawson. And it continues the original continuity. This is the series that he was doing in the early to mid 2000s, and it's important to point out just because it's never been reprinted. This was still part of Mirage Studios, which was their original studio. This is before they sold to Nickelodeon, and then it just became like a licensed property. But they're reprinting it for the first time, and the Ninja Turtles continuity is crazy at this point, and it's actually I really like it a lot, just because like it's like 15 years have passed since like the in time in the story. Like they're not teenagers anymore. Like Casey Jones and April O'Neil have a kid who's like a teenager,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just really really cool looking. There's always like monsters and robots and weirdos, all just like wild, wild. I just really like the original Turtles because it just had just a unique type of imagination to the stories where nothing was too silly or too weird to put in the comic, and it doesn't feel like something that's made by somebody trying to protect a valuable trademark, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly.
So that's why I just want to point this out. This is different than every other Ninja Turtles comic you're going to see on the shelf, and there's a reason why. It's by Peter Laird, the original creator. But anyway, okay, so let's see. What else do we have to talk about here? I got a new issue of Transformers.
Nice.
I can't remember, Sam. Have you been reading Transformers?
I have not. You've told me to read. I have the first trade.
Uh-huh.
I've yet to read it.
Okay, so this is issue 25, and
Okay.
this is the beginning of a new creative team.
Oh.
Robert Kirkman is taking over as writing.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I was prepared to drop this series, honestly, because
Really?
well, I really like Daniel Warren Johnson, and I don't always love everything that Robert Kirkman does. Although I think he's a very, very good writer. I love the hell out of Battle Beast right now.
Yeah.
So I was gonna give this a chance. Also, I should say the art is by Dan Mora, who is excellent, excellent artist. He's like the guy at DC Comics right now. So it's gonna be really funny if he just stops doing stuff at DC so that he can do Transformers. But it's a smooth transition, I should say, to creative teams because it actually opens. This is like a double-sized issue, and half of it is drawn by Jorge Corona, who was the artist on the previous like 16 or 14 issues, I should say.
Yeah. He's got a style that's pretty similar.
Very similar to Daniel Warren Johnson, exactly, like as you can see. And so it's really good. It's just kind of picking up the pieces from the epic conclusion to the previous story arc. Basically, this whole issue is kind of just like what's the housekeeping is the term.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like housekeeping. But I kind of appreciated that it just felt like the next issue in the series, and it wasn't like a hard reboot where Kirkman comes in and like it's like we're jumping forward with our timeline and we're just ignoring the dangling plot threads.
Right.
This is just like 100%. If there's a few things that kind of like feel like what I would call Kirkmanisms with the way some of the characters talk, but it felt very natural to just the continuation of the story. So I kind of appreciated that. Like it gave me a little bit of that nostalgic feeling of being a kid and just like reading comics and not really knowing or caring about the people that were making it.
Yeah.
And you just follow the story. And this felt very natural. Like it didn't feel like a sharp turn. Like the characters didn't start acting different or talking different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So even though it is a different creative team, I think that the way I would describe it is it feels like more of the same, and that's like the best and worst thing I can say about it. If you've been enjoying it, I think you will continue to enjoy it, but it's also not going to be like a grand new direction to like get a bunch of new readers on.
Right.
You know, like that's a lot of times that's what they end up doing when they get a new creative team is, you know, they renumber it and they use it as an opportunity to pull in all these new people that are curious about. No, this is really just like it's just going to keep going, which I respect. And also, there's a variant cover by Daniel Warren Johnson, which I really liked, and it kind of tips you off to one of the cooler scenes in the issue. Soundwave and Optimus Prime there, just ripping his tape out. It's pretty good. So yeah, I am enjoying it, and like I said, I was kind of prepared to be like not continue it, but I think I'm going to keep following and kind of see where it goes. Yeah.
Nice.
So Kirkman's at least got me for that issue, so we'll see. I mean, like I said, it was like a housekeeping issue, kind of like picking up the pieces. There's a little bit of a like signaling of where things are going, so it wasn't. It's not without its like I don't want to call it a plot twist, but moving forward, how we should we say? Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I enjoyed it. So
It doesn't have like a big grandiose Kirkman thing about it, though.
no, it
Yeah.
doesn't, and I think
Yeah.
that's what I kind of appreciated about it. It didn't feel like he was coming in and like flexing too hard,
Right.
uh,
Trying to reinvent the wheel.
yeah, exactly. Which because like that was I don't remember how much we've talked about it on the stream, but like I've not really enjoyed Void Rivals, so that was I guess maybe why I was a little cautious because I was like, I don't want him to come into Transformers and just make it like Void Rivals and kind of like dull and boring, but it didn't do that really.
Well, that's
So
good.
we'll see where it goes. Okay, let's talk about. I got a few more things to talk about. It's actually most of these books are what you have right there.
Right. The X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
we'll talk briefly. I just want to mention this book, Cul-de-sac. I don't remember. Have you looked at this one at
Oh
all?
yeah, we looked at the art.
Yeah,
Last
okay.
week or the week before.
Yeah, I think it was last week. The second printing of #1
That's
came
a
out.
gorgeous book.
Oh,
though.
it's such a cool looking book, and
Yeah.
I really like that. It's just like vampires. It's
Right.
just cool vampire
Just
stories.
a simple vampire.
Simple vampire story with like great looking monsters and beautiful cartooning in the characters. Yeah, you got to check out this book. I mean that like, oh yeah, look at that. That is, oh, it's just so good looking. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. I don't want to like spoil anything necessarily in the story, but this is from Bad Idea Comics, and definitely check it out. It's by Mike Carey, who is a great writer, and I'm not familiar with the artist Jonathan Wayshak, but I love his work, so I will definitely be looking for more of it. Okay. I think we're gonna. So it's like almost nothing but event books, except for the last. No, even that's like all. The only thing that's like not an event book. We'll talk briefly about. Supergirl is in my regular polls. I've been enjoying this. It's by
Mhm.
Sophie Campbell. I think the last issue had a fill-in artist, but it was fine. She like the fill-in artist kind of mimicked her style close enough. This issue also has a fill-in artist, but it's not exactly a fill-in artist. I really appreciate that they use. I think I don't remember. I don't recognize this artist's name, but I think they must have drawn some issues of World's Finest, Batman, Superman, the Mark Waid run. It reminds me of that maybe, but it also just could be that it looks like Dan Mora style a little bit.
Got the Red Lanterns coming up.
Yeah, so this is like in her dream, like her nightmare.
Okay.
And so I appreciate that it's like the other artist is just drawing the dream sequences and Sophie Campbell is drawing the real world sequences.
I love when they
Yeah,
do that.
we talked about that before, like books like The Moon is Following Us, where you have two artists and they both draw different perspectives, and it works really well. So I was really glad. I was afraid when I saw there was another artist. I was like, oh no, Sophie Campbell's hit that deadline crunch where she's not going to be able to keep up with a monthly book. It's a lot of work to write and draw a whole book, every month.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I was a little worried, but you know what? It worked really well in this issue. I quite enjoyed it. Also, I've been enjoying this series, Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. I know you read this one, right, Sam?
I've read the first.
You read the first.
two. I
Okay.
didn't get to read this.
You haven't read
week.
issue 3. All right.
Yeah.
This was a fun issue. There's my camera's a little blurry there. There was let's see if we can get that one more time. There we go. Yeah, this is the one with so the last issue Superman was de-aged down to like a kid. They don't really say specifically what age, but he's roughly the same age as Billy Batson, aka Shazam.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of have a play date where they're just hanging out. And the villains in this is Dr. Savannah
Ooh.
and also what is his name? Toyman?
Is that Toyman?
Yeah, Toyman.
Yeah.
And I almost didn't recognize him at first. I don't know if I've ever seen this design for Toyman, but I kind of really love it.
It's creepy.
It's creepy, yeah. But it's also like, he's like wearing this giant oversized head like of a little kid. So it looks like a theme park mascot kind of.
Yeah.
And that's
But with the blacked out.
but with the blacked out eyes, yeah, like
it's creepy.
it's a really good design for this
Yeah.
character. And I also got a kick out of Savannah and Toyman. They go to Lex, I guess, to either get funding or get permission they want to set up a theme park to kill Superman now that Superman's a little boy. And they're gonna like now, and it's just kind of silly because like this all happens in the span of a day.
Right.
Like Superman gets de-aged, so he's hanging out with Shazam, and then all of a sudden Savannah and Toyman are like, we're gonna build a whole theme park, and Lex is like, fine, do it, and
It's
then they
gonna
just
take months, if
right,
not
right,
years.
exactly, if not years, and so there's a little bit of that like comic book logic where they're like, it just exists, like they just do it. They're like, we're supervillains, so we'll just build a theme park in like a few hours, I guess, because that's what happens. Like
Oh, they go to the theme
they
park?
go to the theme park, and then of course it's a murder park, like a death park, and there's like robot bizarros,
That's
and
awesome.
it's pretty fun, but it definitely has like just that like silly old school comic book logic where they're
Yes.
like, now that he's a kid, we'll lure him into a trap with a theme park, and it's like, who's going to build a theme park? Like, who are you going to hire to do that? You got to go several construction companies, and you got to get the materials. And
I feel like Toyman would just have a theme park ready to go.
me too, yeah. But they didn't say that. Like, oh, we just retrofitted this old theme park. Like, I don't know. It made me laugh, and I liked it a
Yes.
lot. And then there is, you haven't read this issue yet, so I won't say, but there's like a little bit of a plot twist at the end that kind of, this is because this is a 5-issue series, so this is
Right.
issue 3, so this is kind of the turning point for the series, and now the next 2 issues I think are going to go into the big climax.
Okay.
But I have been enjoying this a lot. This is by the creative team behind Ice Cream Man,
Yeah.
and it's like a little weird, but like in a good way. Like I said, it's got like a retro kind of feeling to it. So I really really enjoy it. Okay, let's get to all this other stuff. I guess the big event book coming out tomorrow. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about it. At least mention it. Is that DCKO is coming out tomorrow? This is number 1. The standard cover has this pretty fancy acetate cover. Like as you can see, it's like
Ooh.
plastic see-through, and then you got the regular cover underneath it. And this is I think all the advertisements for it, the press release, have been really really simple. They're just saying it's a fighting tournament where all the characters have to fight to the death to save the universe.
Right.
And I got to tell you, having read the issue, that's exactly what it is.
That's it.
That's it. There's like, and it actually doesn't have enough fighting in it for my taste.
I would flip through it, and
So
it looked like there was a lot of plot. and
there's a
setup.
lot of plot exposition and setup, as you can see. This is so I guess if you've been following like the DC universe proper, last year they did the DC All-in-One special, I think it was called,
Mhm.
and this is basically a direct continuation of that. That was the book that set up the Absolute Universe, and then also established that Darkseid was dead, and his soul, his body, created the Absolute Universe.
Right.
This is directly related to that. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like you almost have to have been following all of those events, or you won't really, like, some of this isn't going to make sense to you.
Do you
There's a
have
lot
to
of
read all-
specific references.
I'm sorry. Do you have to read all the Absolute books?
No,
Okay.
you have to. Yeah, I would say if you followed the DC All-in-One special, and then maybe some of the stuff that's been going on in Superman recently with
Okay.
Darkseid's Evil Legion, and then whatever stuff that's been happening in Justice League Unlimited, and also whatever crossover they did between that with Superman Unlimited and Justice League. There was like a crossover a few months ago, and this is kind of all part of that, where you have there's a lot of standing around and talking, and it feels very similar to, like, if I can be like a little negative, like like the worst parts of DC are when they're trying to recreate the feeling of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
I feel, and I feel like this is an event that's kind of trying to do that. Where, like I said, like you said, you flip through it and it's just all this exposition of characters talking, setting up, trying to explain the lore behind what turns out to just be a fighting tournament for no real apparent reason. Like, it's just like, I don't know. You'll have to read it to find out.
Okay.
I don't want to just like over explain what is in the issue, but like it all like it just kind of like skips to it really fast. It doesn't really make sense to me why they're fighting in a tournament, other than just because if they didn't fight in a tournament, then the story wouldn't happen where they fight in a tournament. So obviously they have to fight in a tournament. And yeah, there's like a whole thing about trying to keep the villains out of it, and
Out of the tournament.
out of the tournament. And if you saw some of the press release for it, you know that some of the villains are in the tournament.
Right.
So there's some stuff that happens, but wow, for something that should just be a fighting tournament between DC characters, it didn't have enough fighting between the characters. There was not enough tournament. This was the lead up to it. Like this was the getting all their ducks in a row, and the tournament is like officially starting at the end of it.
Oh, okay.
So there's like, admittedly, it's like that, but it felt really long for what is a lot of beginning exposition setup kind of stuff. So
Right.
I don't know. It's written by Scott Snyder, and it all felt very Scott Snydery. Like it was it was taking itself very seriously, which I thought was silly because it's a tournament bracket with Superman and Big Barda and Guy Gardner, and
Yeah.
whatever. I probably will not be following it. I'm famously, I just don't like crossover events, and I've really never liked DC crossover events, especially because, except for Crisis on Infinite Earths, that
Right.
one was really good, and then since then,
Everything's
just trying to imitate it, and I don't really enjoy it. But anyway, but I know there's a lot of people that are really excited for it, and it looks good. I will say that. Like it's a good looking book. Okay, let's talk about these other like 5 books.
Yes.
4, 5, 4.
X-Men titles. And
Okay.
Punisher. Yeah.
It's happening. It's really happening. The X-Men Age of Revelation is upon us, and that's not a joke. There are 4 different X-Men Age of Revelation comics coming out tomorrow. There's the Amazing X-Men, there's Binary, there's Laura Kinney Sabretooth, and World of Revelation. I did not read all of these.
Okay.
I did
Which
not.
ones did you
I
read?
flipped through Amazing X-Men
Okay.
and Laura Kinney Sabretooth. And actually, I flipped through Binary just a little bit because I do like classic Binary Carol Danvers from the Claremont run.
Right.
But I didn't really read it. But yeah, here we are. We're in it now. Like it's really happening. 4 new #1 Age of Revelation books. Did you read any of them?
I read The Amazing X-Men and I read World of Revelation.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Amazing X-Men struck me, like as more or less the main book.
Yeah, this is clearly. I mean, it's the one that's written by Jed MacKay,
Right.
which I feel like this is. If you were just gonna follow like one book for this crossover, I would just follow whatever books Jed MacKay is writing because he's
Right.
clearly the
The
architect. Yeah, exactly, the architect of this crossover. But anyway, and this also is the one that directly picks up from the previous issue, the Overture, if I'm not mistaken, which is another one of those things they do where it's like, it just feels like that could have been the #1 issue in a series,
Yes.
and this should be #2, but instead they're both #1 because that's just how we do things.
Right.
But anyway, so what'd you think? I flipped through it. I read a little bit of it, but I didn't read the whole thing. What did you think
I
of it?
thought it was good. It's a direct continuation, like you said, of the Overture book. So really, it's just picks up of them trying to evade Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else. Some other.
There was
notes.
I won't spoil it, but there was like a shocking death in this issue. Except I didn't know who the character was, because I'm not following it closely
trying to
enough. I only
think.
recognize some of the characters in this series because I haven't really been following the new X-Men, the current X-Men run. But this one looks good too. This issue is written by Muhammad Asrar, I think is how it's pronounced, and he's done a lot of good work.
It took me a minute to remember.
Who the character was? Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Um,
been reading that book as well.
mhm.
And we'll leave out the title.
Well, yeah.
as
Well,
of,
we don't have to. We don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
But I don't know. Did you enjoy this? Like you
Yeah,
liking
I
it?
did.
as
Yeah.
far as like an event goes.
It was I liked that cameo.
Hmm.
I've been enjoying it so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there.
it's good.
I liked the like the final page kind of twist of where it's going. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's pretty good. So yeah.
So it feels very much Age of Apocalypse like
Oh,
from this book
100%. Like
and from I mean I
that's
don't think
obviously
that's an
what they're
accident.
doing. Yeah, no, this is another one of those weird things where, like, I think we talked about it in a previous
Might
stream,
have
but
been
like
last week.
it
Yeah.
might have been where like Marvel has like 3 different 30th anniversary Age of Apocalypse things going on right now, and this is definitely the biggest, the Age of Revelation, where they basically just do the Age of Apocalypse again, but with new characters and a new story.
Right.
But then they also have reprints of Age of Apocalypse coming out, and they also have a new Age of Apocalypse series, which has nothing to do with this. So it's just kind of funny. They're just like
Did you say 30 years?
30 years,
Oh my god.
1995, sir. Yeah, yeah. I
Whoa.
remember Age of Apocalypse coming out. I
Oh
was
my
very
gosh.
excited about it. I
Yeah.
really liked it.
Dang.
But I was also 12, 13-year-old kid. I was the target demographic of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Amazing X-Men, pretty good. What was the other one that you read?
I also read World of Revelation.
Okay, that's the one that I didn't even flip through. What did you think of this one? World
That one
of
was
Revelation.
really cool. It's a series of short stories.
Oh, okay.
So you have one that takes place on Araco. You have a story that involves Wiccan and Hulkling. You have another story involving Franklin Richards that's really weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's the World of Revelation. It's
Yeah.
sort of just like world building stories of like, here's
Yeah.
what these characters are up to
Right.
in this new setting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool. It was some neat world building. I think Al Ewing's first story, the one at the very front, was the one I liked the most.
Yeah.
That's
interesting art in this.
Yeah. To put all of the
Yeah.
text on like the side and it kind of reads like prose was an
Yeah.
interesting decision.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, okay. Did you read? That's World. You enjoyed this one. Did you flip through Sabretooth at all?
I did not flip through
So-
Sabretooth or Binary.
I was prepared to not look at this at all, and then I
Yeah.
realized, well, I guess we should at least show them off. And then I realized that Sabretooth. I didn't even read the title of it, and I didn't realize it was Laura Kinney.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay, Laura Kinney is Sabretooth in the future. Sure, why not? And then I was flipping through it and I was reminded that there's all these other like Wolverine family characters like
Yes.
Daken, and I think Honey Badger, is that her name? That's one of the characters, I think.
So,
And then like Laura Kinney is Sabretooth now. And I didn't really follow it because I didn't care enough to actually read it, but there's like a lot of silly fighting. And then like oh yeah, he's Helverine too.
Oh,
Daken.
they're including all of that.
They're just
into
like
the-
including everything. Right. I was flipping through it. I was like, wow, it's like every little bit of like Wolverine tertiary continuity.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like there's got to be something going on. Like I don't remember if we revealed kind of the twist in the previous issue with the status of Wolverine in this Age of Revelation future, but he's basically like the mindless killer
Right.
of Douglas Ramsey.
Yes.
So he's like his angel of death.
He
and
gets
so
one Horseman of Apocalypse.
yeah,
apparently,
yeah,
as
just
opposed
one.
to 4.
He only needs the one when it's
Yeah.
Wolverine.
That's true.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, like so you have the whole Wolverine family, like what's their deal? And then I guess I don't want to spoil it too much, but they do sort of address like what their like what's going on with them and Wolverine.
Okay. They're clearly going to hunt for Wolverine.
Or something like I don't even want to spoil it, but like they're doing so. I didn't read it. I just flipped through it. I just flipped through it.
That's right. You said that.
I just like looked at these panels and I'm like, okay, well, there's a thing happening there. I don't know. So yeah, there's that one, and then there's also Binary, which is clearly like I forgot. I wanted to grab all the variant covers because I don't know if you flip through the variant covers. It's fascinating. There's like 4 variants, and they all look like the same cover.
Oh,
Where
really?
it's like every artist was like, what do I do? I don't know. I'll just draw her like facing the camera with the Phoenix Force behind her. They all just look like this. It's kind of funny. I don't know if it was intentional or not, because like an editor would have had to have approved it. So,
Right.
but
They had to give the okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, as you can imply from the like it's like the Phoenix thing, like Gene's Phoenix, the symbol.
Right.
So it's like binary is the Phoenix, I guess, in this. And again, I didn't read it. I just flipped through it and I saw
Clearly Phoenix
clearly,
Force
yeah,
stuff.
Phoenix Force, and I'm like, okay. If you've been reading the Phoenix series, which I have not, this probably ties into that in some way. And then there is like I did flip to the end. There is I don't know, not really a twist, but a revelation. That again, if you've been reading the Phoenix book, I'm sure it means something.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I'm a little behind on the Phoenix.
have you
book.
been reading it?
I have.
Do you like it?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
It deals with a lot of the cosmic characters that I don't read a lot, so
Right,
like, I
right.
feel a little out of my depth, but yeah,
Okay.
it's all right.
All right. So yeah, 4 X-Men Age of Revelation books. We're deep in the throes of the crossover era now. Like it's just going to keep coming. But we got one more book to talk about, and then we're out of here. And that is The Punisher #1. Now I have something to get off my chest right now, Sam.
Go right ahead.
So this is part of the Marvel Knights: The World to Come series.
Yes.
Now, first of all, have you been reading The World to Come?
I have, and I struggle to see how this is related.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that, because I
Yeah.
haven't been reading The World to Come, and I wasn't sure, like, am I missing something? Because this just read like a Punisher story to me.
Right.
And what I have to complain about is that I saw an advertisement for this book. I'm going to put it down on the camera here so people don't have to look at our faces while we complain. And I saw that this is like a really cool cover here, and it's written by Jimmy Palmiotti, who I know you weren't in the room, Sam, but at the beginning of this stream, I was talking about that Harley Quinn comic coming out tomorrow, Harley Quinn and Elvira, and
yeah.
it's written by Jimmy Palmiotti
Okay.
and his wife Amanda Connor, and she
Yeah.
does some of the art. And so I was like, I like them as creators. I like Jimmy Palmiotti. He did a lot of Marvel Knights stuff back in the day, and it's drawn by Dan Panosian, and I love Dan Panosian. He's cool. Look at this cover art.
That was my biggest takeaway from the book, was how cool the art was.
It looks fantastic. And so I remember seeing this art. I was like, oh, cool. They're finally like Frank Miller, or not Frank Miller, Frank, what's his name? What's the Punisher's? No, the Punisher's Frank Castle. I was like, oh, Frank Castle's back finally, because it's been a few years since Marvel's had like this awkward relationship with the Punisher, where they weren't. They changed the symbol and they turned him into like a hand assassin, and then they like killed him. Maybe I don't remember how that ended.
And then Frankenstein.
And that that was a different time. I mean,
yeah.
To be fair, they've done all kinds of stuff. He's been brought back as Frankenstein. He's been dead and an angel who like killed demons. This was back in the 90s when they didn't know what to do with the Punisher. He was like revived as an angel with holy guns to kill demons, because they're like, whatever. And then that was like right before it got rebooted with the original Marvel Knights version, written by Garth Ennis, and those are basically like the greatest Punisher comics ever. And they set the precedent for the Punisher. And so anyway, Marvel hasn't really done anything with Frank Castle, the Punisher, for a while. They did a Punisher series like 2 years ago that was a different guy, and it was not very good. So anyway, I was very excited. I was like, okay, I'm curious about this. Marvel Knights, that's the branding that I liked for set the precedent for Punisher. I like these creators, Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Panosian. And then like a few weeks ago, last month, I saw it on the stands. There's Punisher #1, Red Band. And I was like, oh, but they put it in that Red Band thing, whatever. That's just the new thing that they do. And I opened it up and I was like, wait a minute, this is a completely different comic. And I was totally bamboozled. They have 2 different Punisher #1s on the stands, like 2 months apart. I mean, it's branded Marvel Knights: The World to Come.
Right.
But, the other one was Punisher Red Band, and I just assumed it was the same thing.
Right.
And
that strikes as like a Marvel Knights property, like a little more mature.
Exactly. The Marvel Knights, the original Marvel Knights series became the Marvel Max series. And so I was just like, okay, sure, the Marvel Knights, they're going to put it in a Red Band because it's like, whatever. And this was way more mature in just like tone than that Marvel Red Band book,
That's what I've heard.
which I complained about on the stream because like yeah, it had some gore and some blood in it, but they still censored the curse words like it's a comic book from the 90s where they have to have asterisks instead of bad words. And I was like, what? Why put it in a red band where little kids can't read it if you're going to censor the curse words?
You know the funny part about that is Red Hood came out that same day, and
It
the
did.
curse words were not censored at all.
Exactly,
and that wasn't polybagged or anything.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
this is also not polybagged, although there's not really any curse words in it.
No.
But it is just like still pretty bloody and gory and mature. I have to say I liked this one a lot more than the Punisher Red Band.
Okay.
This is just like classic gritty Punisher,
Yeah.
and there's like a new drug that turns people into zombies basically, and they just become susceptible to mind control. And Punisher gets captured and dosed, but he's fighting it, and so
Right.
like they can't figure out how to break him. And it kind of like the only thing I will say is this issue didn't feel like it had an ending. It just felt like the story just stopped for the next, and then you just
Yeah.
picks up in the next issue. You know what I mean?
It had that the big reveal page turn at the end, but it
Right.
was just like, oh, okay.
But it felt like an add-on.
Right.
Like they're like, oh, we're at 21 pages, and I don't have a way to stop the story.
Exactly.
Quick, add this splash page.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, but I did really enjoy it, and I did like it more than the Punisher Red Band.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I've been talking a lot about this. You did read this issue,
I did
right?
read it. I liked it a lot. My only complaint was as soon as they introduced that zombie drug,
Yeah.
the story was very predictable.
Yes,
after that point.
You're correct. It was.
Like, because literally everything up to that last splash page, I was just like, oh, this played out exactly as I imagined.
Man, this is a great 2-page
Yeah.
sequence, though. Just like that's what I'm talking about. Like, just classic Punisher, just blowing creeps away, you know. Oh, and then there's this character, the El Zombie, which is pretty good, and I like that he has like a Punisher mask, like you know. So there's like a little bit of a thing going on there, but yeah, I do agree with you. I was like, once they introduce that whole concept, that idea, I was like, oh, I know where this is going, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, me
I
too.
really enjoyed it. I will definitely be continuing this Punisher series and probably not the Red Band series.
Okay.
Not that the Red Band series was really bad, but I kind of hate the whole conceit of the Red Band.
Yeah.
It seems so fake and so cynical. Like we're gonna polybag it because it's dangerous and edgy, but it's the most milquetoast. Like it's barely edgier than anything else on the stands. You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, they put out last year. They put out that Wolverine Red Band series, and I was like, it's all right. I really like Greg Capullo's art, and there's some pretty gory things. But you know, they also put out a Punisher Max issue written by Garth Ennis that has people getting disemboweled, and that's not polybagged,
Right.
because they know kids aren't buying a Garth Ennis Nick Fury Punisher comic. But anyway, I feel like it's all just smoke and mirrors, and that's why I don't really like the Red Band stuff. But that's whatever. Okay, I don't know. Did you have any final thoughts
Oh
about
no,
Punisher?
I think we covered it.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. We are out of here. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm Aaron. This is Sam.
Hey.
Susie was in here earlier here at Fantasy Books and Games. We love talking about comics. Come on down to the store, chat with us about comics. Yeah. All right. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye.